Yeah, yeah. Get your ass up and hurry.
Welcome back to The Living Way. My name is Mary. We are discussing food additives, and my guest speaker tonight is Debby Anglesey. Did I say that correctly,
yes,
Debby?
Anglesey, yes.
Anglesey.
Mm-hmm.
And Debby is out in Washington, and she certainly has shared a remarkable testimony of her experience having to come out from under many different physical problems, very stressful, to the almost complete ruin of her health and her family relationships. And Debby, we are so thankful that you found the answer. And we know that there are many people in our audience tonight who may have symptoms very similar to yours. Are you able to share with our audience some of the symptoms that one can have by ingesting this MSG?
Yes, and then I can also give you some of the hidden names if you have time.
Yes.
Of the additives that contain glutamate. Symptoms, most of the common ones, these are reported to us constantly, daily. I hear from people every day, from 2 to 7 people every day, and we have talked to thousands, literally. And these are the most common symptoms reported: severe headaches, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, irregular heartbeat or blood pressure, depression, mood changes, abdominal pain, cramping or bloating, balance problems, dizziness, or seizures even, especially among little children. This happens a lot. Tenderness in localized areas such as the back of the neck, the legs, hands, sleep disorders, very common, blurred vision, difficulty focusing, and this is something I always get. If I get MSG by mistake, I can be sure that I get blurred vision for 3 days. Chronic fatigue or sleepiness, excessive perspiring or shuddering with chills, shortness of breath, chest pain, asthma-like symptoms, swelling or numbness of the feet, hands, or jaw, joint pain, I should say, or the bones may ache, flushing or tingling in the face, the chest, pressure behind the eyes, gagging reflex or difficulty swallowing. I had that also. Hyperactivity, behavioral problems, chronic postnasal drip, skin rashes, excessive itching, hives, very common. I spoke with a young mother whose little boy was covered in hives, and she was a working mom, and they stopped at McDonald's after work every night, and when they stopped, he got better. Bloated face, dark circles under strained eyes, extreme thirst or dry mouth, difficulty concentrating and poor memory, slowed speech, chronic bronchitis-like symptoms or allergy reactions, a dry, tickle cough, a hoarseness, or sore throat that reoccurs. Heavy, weak feeling in the arms or legs. My arms felt like I was carrying a weight around. Rage, anxiety, panic disorders, because, again, the hypothalamus is affected, and this controls our mood, this part of the brain. Fibromyalgia, a lot of that. We have talked, I can't tell you how many women I've helped who have this condition, and it's a growing condition. Myofascial pain, frequent urination, gallbladder problems. We've talked to people who had gallbladder pain, had their gallbladders removed, and still have the pain until they eliminate MSG. Kidney pain, aching teeth, it's called phantom pain. Neurological disorders like ALS, MS, Parkinson's, ringing in the ear, tinnitus, mouth sores, attention deficit disorder. Spoke with a man, Robert Cupp, said I could share his story. He was raised at the hospital several times for what were termed pseudo-heart attacks or mini heart attacks. No damage to the heart, but it was very, very frightening. His little boy wondered when he was going to die. And then he began to develop something called Meniere's disease, which is first starts with a ringing and then dizziness, vertigo. He would be on the floor. He could not stand up. He was dizzy most of the time, couldn't work. He was scheduled to have a nerve cut that led from his brain down to the side of his neck, and to eliminate this spinning sensation. However, he might have to learn how to relearn some motor skills. It was a very, very serious surgery. And his mother-in-law went online, found us, ordered the book. She ordered him to eat at her house and eat only what she made, and he got better. He went to tell his doctor that he no longer needed the surgery, and his doctor said, you better come in and have that surgery or don't come to me again. Well, he did not, and he called to thank me, and sometimes we talk on the Internet. Mouth sores, get a lot of that. So these are words that you might see on labels, and they also are substances that contain less than 78% glutamic acid. And the reason is they don't have to be labeled as being glutamic acid. It has to be 78% or more of glutamic acid in a substance, which MSG has, in order for it to be labeled MSG. So this is how they can get away with it, in other words.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. If you see these words, of course, MSG and glutamate, avoid them. Natural flavor or flavors, natural flavor or flavorines. Maltodextrin, carrageenan, gelatin, because that's made from hydrolyzed bones. Our bones contain a lot of glutamate, and collagen is high in glutamate naturally, but they boil it and treat it with chemicals, and you have a highly concentrated source of glutamate, 30%, 12 to 30%, depending on the source. Spices, seasonings, words like seasoned salt, dough conditioners, yeast extract, autolyzed yeast extract, autolyzed anything, broth, stock, soup base, NutraSweet or aspartame. This is, of course, another neurotoxin. Hydrolyzed protein, vegetable protein, TVP, hydrolyzed plant protein, hydrolyzed oat flour, hydrolyzed anything. Sodium caseinate, calcium caseinate. You see this in tuna and cold cuts. Caseinate, this is hydrolyzed milk protein, caseinate is. Disodium guanylate, disodium inositol, disodium caseinate. Chicken, pork, or beef flavorings. Chicken, pork, or beef base, bouillon, vegetable gum, plant protein extract. Smoke flavorings, malted barley flour. Some people thought they were told they had celiac disease and learned that it was the malted barley flour in the white flour that they were using. So we recommend that people avoid that. Malt has a lot of natural glutamate in it. Malt extract, malt flavoring, malted barley flour. Now this is a highly processed barley product. Malt flour, malted anything. Texture, even rice can be malted. That means the grain is sprouted and dried and roasted and ground into flour, but it's very high in glutamate because of the process. Textured protein, guar gum. Caramel coloring or flavoring, soy protein, soy extract, soy protein concentrate, soy protein isolate, soy sauce, whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, kombu extract, L-cysteine, and Ajinomoto, which is the word in Japan for MSG, and China. And MSG-rich seasonings, adobo salt, Sazon in a Latin American homes, accent, Glutasil, kombu extract, Zubu, Ajinomoto, Torolo yeast, spike, glutavine, Vestin, Lowry seasoning salt. People say, it says no MSG on it. Okay, you'll see dry soy solids, autolyzed yeast. You might even see maltodextrin in there. And you may even be getting more glutamate than if it was just a little MSG added. Chinese seasonings and sauces, gourmet powder, and maizing. I believe it's pronounced. I'm not quite sure of that. And if you see the words protease enzymes or disodium guanylate or disodium inositol, avoid these because they are used in conjunction with MSG. They boost the power of MSG. They're expensive food additives.
It would seem that you've really had to learn to read labels.
Yes, I have. And I've done it. I started out trying to help regain my health and my son, which we did. He's now a chiropractor. And an interesting story, my son-in-law is a dentist, and when we went to his